some missable quests or additional outcomes that you might have missed depending on your choices. Now, I'm not going to cover quests that are missable because, you know, you might overlook them even though the icon is going to be there the whole time and you might just not notice it. These are ones you can actually miss out on depending on your choices or timings, and this is specifically for Phantom Liberty. And obviously you can miss the entire main storyline at two junctures. One is where you can select not to continue with it by saying you don't want to, and the other one is just by going off-piste when you're supposed to be rescuing President Myers. You only have to deviate 30 seconds in the wrong direction and Somi just says, well, you know, you basically killed the president, even though it takes you about 10 minutes to get to her.
Congrats, V. You just killed Rosalind Myers and fucked the NUSA.
So you're sure she's dead? I mean, really sure?
I'm sure. Pray we don't meet again, and I mean ever.
Anyway. So these are ones other than that you can miss. So firstly, we have Addicted to Chaos. Starting with the man who killed Jason Foreman. If you assassinate him as per instructions of the gig, it will end there and then. You can go and complete the quest, hand in, get your reward. If, however, you choose to spare him and let him go, you can still close out the gig and return the tags, but you also get the follow-on quest called Addicted to Chaos, where you can go and access his private stash. You learn a little bit more about his situation. You get a nice shotgun. And it's quite interesting. There's a nice little Johnny Silverhand Easter egg in the emails as well. But it's up to you. You learn a bit more about things and, you know, whether or not you made the right decision or not. Check it out and see what you think.
What do you mean, Revolver? Ocelot needs my help.
Buck her up, sweet cheeks.
The next one is Dazed and Confused. So this is the one where you are rescuing Lena Molina. Now, if you believe Lena Molina to actually be the guy in the cell here, you can actually release him and the quest will end. If, however, you leave him where he is, you assume that it's not just some fake bit of marketing and there is actually a Lena Molina. You head back up the stairs and talk to Shank. The quest will continue. It's got multiple different outcomes. Yeah, it's worth playing. It's quite an interesting little gig.
What a mess. I'll have to call Melanie, tell her to reopen casting. Anyway, you want an autograph or something?
Balls to the Wall. This one is very missable based on your timing.
Name's Paco. This here's Babs.
V.
Okay, V. Let's drink to the sitch. Like, toast the mofo and hope he goes away.
If you don't start this one before Firestarter, or if you haven't finished it before Firestarter, you won't be able to do it. Instead, you're going to find this, where the quest is usually picked up. Completely missable, completely worthwhile doing this quest. I thought it was pretty good. Next, Baby Let Me Take You. This one isn't technically missable despite what I said, but it kind of is. If you're not into the driving gigs you get from Muamares and you haven't done them, you won't get this gig. You need to do 8 of those vehicle missions in order to get this one unlocked. Totally worthwhile doing. It's a nice little vehicle heist. It's like all his other heists, but this one is much more of a meaty mission and it has different ways of completing it, so definitely worthwhile doing. You'll get a text message from El Capitan in order to get this one started. There's a couple of follow-on quests you can get from Spy in the Jungle, okay? The first one is Money for Nothing. If you choose to spare Katia, again, being merciful, you'll be able to go and access her stash underneath this dumpster and get a lot of credits for your trouble and learn a little bit more.
What's up, kid?
Also, on the way back from that gig, regardless of what you decide to do, you will be approached by the 2 main quest givers. If you go with Steven and do what he requests, you're going to trigger the follow-up quest, The Show Must Go On. It's a very brief little quest, but if you don't follow his advice and you go with his partner's advice and you do what she wants, then you won't get The Show Must Go On.
Conscience keeping quiet?
Just a peep or two, never a shout.
Now, during the quest, I've seen that face before. you have an opportunity to listen into the twins' conversation. Reed is pushing you to take control of the car, but you can drag it out a little bit until you hear the information you need. So once you've listened long enough and you've got the information you need from listening to Aurora and Emmerich, and when you're jacked into Aurora's mind, afterwards you'll see a blue option there which lets you download Slider's file. This unlocks the side job Voodoo Treasure, where you can go and find some Voodoo Treasure. If you don't listen into the conversation, you won't get that follow-up quest. If this video has helped you not miss out on a quest, don't forget to drop a like, and if you want to subscribe, that would be awesome too.
Thanks for the preem content.
There's a kind of a micro quest here. If you pick up this shard in the airport during your playthrough, if you're doing the Killing Moon, there's a little follow-up quest afterwards that you get when you decide to visit the airport again. If you pay a little bit of attention going through the Killing Moon, there's a few more shards, not yellow ones like this, just white ones that actually give you even more context about this relationship and the situation with Dotty and Alune. When you visit the airport, there is a memorial to the people that passed away, and once you've read it or interacted with it, you'll get the opportunity to send on that shard. And I know I've mentioned this in my other videos and done an individual one on it, but still I can't omit it from this list, and that's Ironclad. Ironclad is located in the black market, just in this container here, and it's a bit of a scavenger hunt. I've got a whole video about that one if you want to check that out.
Only thing worse than a corpo's a terrorist with a conscience.
Finally, if you save Nellie Springer in her gig, Roads to Redemption, you have to save her and be on good terms with her. You will get the follow-up quest sometime later called One Way or Another. A few days later, you're going to get a message asking to meet at the designated spot within Dogtown. Go ahead and meet her and see what happens. There you go, that's the rundown of some missable quests in Dogtown. Are there any ones I have missed from this list that are genuinely missable? Let me know down below and I will include them in a future video. I'm going to revisit the Cyberpunk 2077 missable quests now as well, because other than the ones based around cars like the Ken Block tribute or Batman car, and of course Highwayman, there's not a whole heck of a lot in the base game that's missable anymore. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. YouTube thinks you like this video. I'll see you in my next one. Take care folks. Bye.